Ohio State Bowl Preview Show, presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and by Burger King, and brought to you statewide by the American Dairy Association Mideast and Cova Insurance, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with former OSU All-American Jim Lachey and the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, here's your host, Skip Mosic.
And hi again, everybody. Welcome into our championship game preview show as Ohio State gets set to face Notre Dame for all the marbles Monday in Atlanta. We will sprint through almost our quick cows version of tonight's show the next hour with former OSU All-American, NFL All-Pro Jim Lachey.
So happy to be here, Skipper.
No doubt about it. Hall of Fame broadcaster, longtime voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
Just fine. Thanks for asking.
Yes, I'm glad you're here. Coach Ryan Day will hop on with us in about 30 minutes. But, guys, while Ohio State's path to reach this point may have been the more difficult of the two, it's probably pretty safe to say that both teams earned their right and played their way into being in this game on Monday.
Well, no question. Both had to play home games in the first round. Both had difficult losses to overcome. Ohio State with the one at the end of the year to Michigan, and Notre Dame with a loss to Northern Illinois that left everybody scratching their heads after they'd beaten Texas A&M on the road. And people who really wondered is because of their independent status, although they pretend to be in the ACC, if they should have been in the field. But with the way they're playing, absolutely they do. And obviously with the way Ohio State's playing, absolutely they do.
Yeah, and thank goodness for a 12-team playoff, because we probably both wouldn't have made it if it was just a 4-team playoff like it has been in years past. But this is the first year, obviously, that 12-team playoff, and both these teams have made it to the final game after having some bumps on the road, so to speak, during the regular season. But, yeah, I mean, look at Ohio State. Took care of business. Those first two games made it look easy. Texas gave the Buckeyes everything they wanted, but they still had enough to win that ball game in a 4-quarter game, which I think you kind of needed in this playoffs. You know, you want to be battle-tested, and certainly they are now, and earn the right to play in the national championship against Notre Dame, who I thought, Penn State was up on them. I thought that was going to go towards the Nittany Lions for about 58 minutes of that ball game, but credit Notre Dame for hanging in there, playing tough football, and finding a way to win at the end.
When you look back at the Texas game for Ohio State, the two huge plays that stand out as the difference were, obviously Henderson's 75-yarder before the half, Sawyer's strip 6 for the game clincher. But when you look at what the Buckeyes did defensively, especially pressure on the quarterback, was that a carryover from what they were able to do against Oregon?
They've done that the whole playoffs. I mean, our pass rush has really stepped up. Our pass defense has been fabulous. Our run defense, shutting down the rushing attack, and again, they're able to do that against Texas to make these teams one-dimensional. Can't say enough how well this defense is playing, and then you bring up the fact of our goal line defense just being fantastic. When you got, basically first and goal at the 2, and then with a penalty, it's first and goal at the 1, and they get 4 cracks at it, and we get 7 points out of it the other way. That just shows you how well that this team is playing. Credit Jim Knowles, that defensive staff for playing well, and offensive players and that defensive line for going out there and performing at a high level.
Paul, Jim brought up the penalties. When you look at those penalties called against Ohio State, it was almost on the cusp of, are these going to be too much to overcome? Now they were, but how much of that do you think is being discussed this week as they prepare for the championship?
A lot. Certainly with the way the defense played, that helped overcome some of that. And there's even those who think that, Skip, maybe 1 or 2 of those defensive pass interference penalties in the end zone weren't bad penalties, just to avoid being beaten. So that's got to be certainly something that gets taken care of. It'll be interesting to see. We saw last night that it's going to be an SEC crew working the game after 2 straight. Is it 2 or was it 3 straight with ACC officials? Lose track. So it'll be interesting to see how different it's called.
I think some of those penalties coaches can live with, but the personal fouls,
That's the killer.
The 15-yarders, obviously Travion Henderson, he made up for it with that touchdown at the end of the half or the end of the second quarter. You don't want to see him, obviously swinging and punching. That's nothing good there. And then, Austin Saravell trying to hustle down the field afterwards. You got to understand they're looking for it. The officials are right there trying to pick a guy out the pile. Now, 15 years ago, that's perfectly legal. But now the way they call it, you can't do that. So, again, I love the effort. Just got to be able to pull back in that situation.
Oh, we saw harder hits by Wisconsin last night on the basketball court.
Yes, in the lane.
The most impressive thing Notre Dame showed you in their comeback win over Penn State was what?
Just that, coming back the way they did. And also, too, really, if you look at that last touchdown that Greathouse scored, just the moves he was able to make to get defensive backs falling down on their rear ends on the field. And, Riley Leonard's not known. He's more known as a runner than a thrower. Not that he's not a passing threat, but that they were able to come from behind against a defense that we've all thought has been a very, very good defense. That's maybe the most impressive thing.
They got a different way of doing it. When you look at the three teams we've played so far, it's always been strong quarterback play, throwing the football down the field. That, Tennessee, when you look at Oregon, when you look at Texas, they've all had that common denominator. Now, when you look at Riley Leonard, it's more with his feet. I mean, he can throw with the football. He's effective with it. And you saw Greathouse, he got in the end zone with that play there. But his rushing ability is something that Ohio State's going to have to really be on the lookout for and have to have the ability to shut out. Now, when you do run your quarterback, you do expose him to hits. So Ohio State, the way they've been hitting, how physical they've been in these 3 playoff games, you got to take that into account, too, if you're Notre Dame.
Texas was able to convert a couple of big plays, the 2 touchdowns to Jaden Blue specifically, Paul. Can Notre Dame have similar success with guys like you brought him up, Greathouse and Love, guys that Ohio State has been studying all week?
Well, and they've got a deep group of wide receivers there. Running backs, Aeneas Williams, too. And those guys will catch balls out of the backfield. It was almost the same play that Jaden Blue scored on those touchdown passes. So obviously that's something that Ohio State is looking at. How did it happen? How do we avoid keeping it from happening?
Well, wheel routes, and that's, you look at the first one, Sonny Styles, almost a little bit of a rub concept. He kind of had that tight end coming across or the wide receiver coming across. He got kind of caught up in that mesh zone, couldn't get there deep enough, couldn't affect the throw. And then the second one, we came with a zone blitz, we dropped our defensive tackles. And, Tyleek Williams, love that guy, but he's not going to be able to cover a back out of the backfield on a wheel route. And, those are 2 big plays. Their 2 only scores in that game came off their running back. So certainly Notre Dame's watching the same film. They'll understand that they might have some matchups there. Ohio State's going to have to play that situation a little bit different.
Buckeye fans, power up and carbon down with AEP Energy and Eco Advantage, their 100% renewable energy plan for your home or business. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Monday night, it's Ohio State and Notre Dame for the CFP Championship. We'll be on the air from Atlanta with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 6 p.m. Up next, some comments from Tim May of Letterman Row as tonight's championship game preview show continues.
Our bowl preview show is presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
When you share your food, you share your heart. So what's on your table this holiday season? Save on your festive feast at Kroger with delicious deals on all the holiday classics. Or wow the crowd with something new, like a quinoa stuffed butternut squash. It's sure to add a pop of color to your spread. How about a sweet potato casserole with a crunchy oat streusel topping, made with care for the sweet tooth and the savory tooth? With Kroger, fill your table with love and watch as your guests' hearts get as full as their bellies. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Ohio State championship quarterback Cardale Jones.
As a child, I had the same hopes and dreams as other children. I just didn't have the same resources to achieve them, but I found the help I needed to be my best. I was a CareSource kid. CareSource is so much more than Medicaid. They help families overcome a lot of their day-to-day struggles, and that made a lasting difference in the lives of kids like me.
CareSource, your Medicaid, your choice. Visit caresource.com/Medicaid.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at Safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
For 100 years, our passion at Atlas Butler has been helping people. From those who have relied on us for years to those who call us for the first time. For our team, their families, and our community, Atlas Butler is here to keep Central Ohio safe and comfortable with trusted, convenient service. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the Shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk and Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Buckeye football lives here. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mosic. Our championship game preview is presented by Burger King. Visit their local BK restaurant to grab your $20 Buckeye Blitz bundle. That includes 2 Whoppers, a cheeseburger, 3 small fries, 3 small drinks, and a custom OSU crown. Only at Burger King, where you rule. Again, it's Ohio State and Notre Dame Monday night for the national championship. Joined for a few minutes by Tim May of Letterman Row. And Tim, let's start with this. I mean, these two teams have 2 of the most puzzling and head-scratching losses of the season. When you look at how this playoff played out, are we seeing what the CFP, I guess, wanted to accomplish in your mind?
Well, yeah, but, as far as Ohio State's puzzler, at least it was to its arch rival,
Sure.
But I'm talking about the Michigan game, obviously, not the game at Oregon. But it's funny because I just had an interview with Bill Hancock. It's going to post later this week. The guy who was put in charge of getting the CFP up and running a long time ago, and then helped usher them into this now 12-team tournament. And I don't think you could have dreamed of a bigger, more headline-grabbing first championship game in the 12-team era than Ohio State versus Notre Dame. I mean, yeah, Alabama might have added some panache, but no one else, And so, yeah, it's what stands out about it, Skip, is neither one of these teams would have made the Final Four, but they got in, because the field moved to 12. And so you see college football, as we've talked about many times on this show, on any given day, a lot of teams can beat other teams, and that's been borne out. But you're right. I think Notre Dame's comeback is bigger than Ohio State's because Ohio State with 2 losses was always going to get in, But Notre Dame with that 1 loss in Northern Illinois, man, they really had to make up a lot of ground.
Tim, Texas gave Ohio State all they wanted, almost had a chance to tie it up there with the final minutes of that game, but it went Ohio State's way with our defense stepping up. Do you think Ohio State needed a test like this, after those first 2 games where they were just come out so dominant against Tennessee, so dominant against Oregon? Now they find out a little bit about themselves. And you look at offensively, Jeremiah Smith, our top player, had just a minimal game. They found a way to take him away, but still other guys stepped up. They found a way to win. Is this kind of a test you needed before the championship?
Jim, this is what they get out of it because no one wants a test. You know that, man. They leave no doubt has been Ryan Day's mantra all season. But what they found out was, you mess around and teams are going to play with you. I mean, those penalties, most of those penalties were timely against Ohio State and really hurt them at big moments. And when they could have possibly been on a march and put the game away, I think that's what it reinforced more than anything were the cliches of no dumb penalties, no turnovers. And, the Will Howard interception, it was too bad you never saw that linebacker streaking back. But, I think that's what it reinforces more than anything else is one play here and there, and suddenly you're in a battle in the fourth quarter. And you never want that. I mean, I'm really having a hard time really sizing this game up because clinically on paper, Ohio State is a legitimate 9 to 12-point favorite. But will it play out that way with 2 teams playing for the ultimate prize? That's what's going to be fun to watch. But mistakes will really maybe not kill you, but really hurt you in games like this.
Throwing the ball to backs out of the backfield, such as the play with Travion Henderson scoring the touchdown. Is that something maybe that you had been looking for more of during the season, Tim, that didn't happen, but then it broke loose with that big play against Texas?
Yeah, it did happen a few times, Paul. What I was looking for them to do, and they started doing it, was throwing the ball down the field to the backs, and they did that a few times with Travion Henderson. But, yeah, that screen, I don't know why Texas was caught flat-footed by that play, because that's what almost anybody runs. Let's see if we can get 20 or 30 yards and have either a throw to the end zone or maybe have a shot at getting a field goal there at the end of the first half. And Texas was caught flat-footed, but it helps when three of your bigger offensive linemen are run downfield. I'm talking about Luke Montgomery, Tegra Shaboa, and Carson Hinsman, and get in the way at exactly the right time. So that's what was stunning. But but then again, Texas scored its 2 touchdowns on wheel routes. The running backs out of the backfield, blew, and so I think Ohio State was as caught as much by it as Texas was.
Looking at this Notre Dame team, what has impressed you about them so far?
Found a way. I was talking with, one of our friends, Tony Gerdeman, and I were talking about it today. Is like, you look at that Penn State game, that's one of the ugliest games you've ever watched. And at one point in the first half, one of the boringest games you ever watched. But Notre Dame was able to manufacture some points, I think is the best way of putting it. And, of course, when you have a cornerback fall down in man coverage, and you leave a guy wide open, that was as big a touchdown as Notre Dame had all season. A Greathouse kid, and they finally figured out what to do with their quarterback, which is more of a Vince Youngish kind of offense. And Lincoln Riley can hurt you with his feet. Ohio State, everybody knows that, Now, can Ohio State do something about it? But, they just found ways to win, and there's something to be said for a team like that, a.k.a. the 2002 Buckeyes.
With 5 catches in the Texas game and what we saw in the very first play of the game against Oregon, Tim, do you feel like we're seeing the best of G. Scott at tight end?
They're getting a lot. They're getting the most out of him. Let's put it that way, Paul. And he and Will Kazmarek, we got to talk to Will Kazmarek today. And these kind of games reminds me of pro football. Is the deeper you get in the playoffs, the more tight ends become the targets, because they're trying to take away those real game busters. But anybody who follows football, as I say all the time, nobody consistently covers the tight end. That's how Rob Gronkowski became a household name. That's why he's still doing commercials and things today, because Tom Brady used him when he needed him. And, tight ends become more and more important to you, especially the ones that can catch the ball. And G. Scott Jr., I have Dad on my Tim May show this week, and we're talking about just this run this whole team has made. But his kid came in as a wide receiver, and he had 5 catches against Texas, as you pointed out. Those are huge catches, especially the one just before the quarterback sneak, the rumble, bumble, and stumble.
The 2 high safety look Ohio State's been showing with, the outside, both the backers out wide, and Caleb Downs playing middle linebacker about 9 or 10 yards deep. Kind of unique, but it's working for the Ohio State right now with the excellent coverage and the reading ability that Caleb Downs has.
Jim, I've been trying in my head to come up with a guy that he reminds me of from Ohio State playing days. I mean, Malik Hooker was a different kind of safety, as we all know. Will Allen is a little bit in that realm, and Jordan Fuller. But he and I've been calling Caleb Downs and Lathan Ransom the sidewinders, because man, they see the heat and they come off the rails, man, like missiles. That second down play at the goal line, and that goal line stand was a microcosm of what these guys have meant to this defense about going to the heat source and putting it out. And but Caleb Downs, dude, we've never seen a guy. I have never seen a guy play safety like he does at Ohio State. So his value is incalculable in my opinion. Just the one-handed shoestring tackles he's made, I think it's over 10 now that I can remember. Just think what those meant in the grand scheme of things.
Tim May, Letterman Road. Tim, we always appreciate your time and your insight. We'll see you down in Atlanta this weekend, okay?
You got that right. I'll see you guys down there. Don't get lost.
All righty. Thanks to the American Dairy Association Mideast for sponsoring our top high school performances around the state during each Buckeye Roundtable this season. A reminder that chocolate milk has 8 grams of protein to fuel everyone, including Ohio State offensive lineman Donovan Jackson. He's built like a Buckeye, and you can be too. Visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/built-like-a-Buckeye to learn more. Up next, comments from Notre Dame coach Marcus Freeman as our championship game preview continues after this.
Our bowl preview show is presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
Ready?
It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get one juicy flame grill Whopper sandwich, one original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
It's Toyota truck and all-wheel drive season with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, including the best-selling Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through February 3rd, get 4.99 APR financing on Camry or lease a Camry LE from just $289 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing with approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. The Fan. Ohio sports destination. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, to our championship game preview show presented by Burger King and by Roosters with Jim Lachey and Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mosic. Time for our 2 Deep report presented by Elk and Elk. And Jim, you reach this point of the season. A lot of guys are playing out there. Let's talk about Ohio State's secondary and the players moving in and out. As far as what that might do to take things away from what Notre Dame does offensively on Monday.
Well, you looked at this Texas game. You saw Denzel Burke get a start. Hey, 15 career starts now. I mean, it's unbelievable what he's been able to do. And, to be his 51th here against Notre Dame, 51st, I should say. Jermaine Matthews.
We knew what you meant.
We knew what you meant. We worked together a while.
Jermaine Matthews coming in, played a lot of plays in that game, probably played 2-to-1 plays of what Denzel Burke did. And that's a good thing because Jermaine Matthews has shown that he can play and he's ready to play. He's knocking on the door. He played a little bit as a freshman, got his feet wet and did some nice things. This year, he's already got 21 tackles on the year. And again, that's kind of in backup role on special type teams and getting things done. But he's a guy that is going to be a starter here in the future. And everybody's banged up after 15 ball games, and Denzel's has been a little bit banged up. They called an upper body injury, but you'll see probably a little bit of Denzel and Jermaine Matthews in there playing along with Davidson Igmanosin at the corners. We've been pretty good at that safety position all year long.
Our 2 Deep report was presented by Elk and Elk, injury lawyers dedicated to every client every day. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Again, Ohio State coach Ryan Day will join us coming up in just a few minutes. Right now, some comments from Notre Dame coach Marcus Freeman. Notre Dame deals dealing with injuries. Coach Freeman on the status of Jeremiah Love and Bo Collins.
Jay Love is good to go. Jay Love will be full go, and Bo's still healing from he has calf strain, and so he'll work back into practice here in the next couple of days. But I hope that as long as he progresses, he'll be good to go for the game. But we got to make sure that he progresses as we go through this week.
That was one thing coming out of the Penn State game, Paul, that you noticed that Notre Dame was dealing with some injuries.
They were, and especially on the offensive line. They lost the one lineman, Knapp, who will not play in the championship game. Spindler, their real experienced defensive lineman, got banged up. But if anybody's shown how to recover from that, it's Ohio State with injuries on the O-line.
Marcus Freeman on their plan for success against Ohio State's defense.
We have to be able to run the football, and we got to find ways to do that. And at the end of the day, you're going to study teams that have had success against your opponent, but you still have to do what your team does well. And again, for us to have success, we're going to have to be able to run the ball, and we're going to have to be able to stop the run. And obviously, you know me well enough, Tim. I've said that for every game we play, but it won't be any different for this game.
That was one thing noticeable about the stats in the Ohio State-Texas game is both teams' defenses really stopped the opponent from running the football.
Yeah, and again, Ohio State's been fantastic against the run. They've only had 2 100 rushers all year long, and unfortunately, those are both the games they lost, Oregon and Michigan. So that's the key for Ohio State, to shut down the rushing attack like they've done all year long. They're going to have to do it again against Notre Dame, against a team that's averaging 210 yards on the ground. So this will be the most formidable rushing attack that they've faced. Now, the thing is, when they go to 12 personnel, is that a 12 personnel that wants to run the football, and are they heavy run out of that situation? If that is the case, you'll see Arvell Reese in there for Ohio State.
Flip side of the ball, Coach Freeman on playing both man and zone versus Ohio State's wide receivers.
As you watch film, not many teams are successful just sitting in man coverage versus these receivers. So we'll obviously have to mix some things up and come up with a great plan to try to limit what they do in the passing game. You're not going to be able to stop the receivers totally. They're a talented bunch. And so we'll come up with a plan and be able to adapt and adjust based off what's going on in the game.
And we've seen it all season long, Paul, that if a team's going to take away a Jeremiah Smith or him not going to be able to get the amount of targets that he was going to get, as we saw against Texas, there were other people that stepped up.
There absolutely are, like Carnell Tate. We talked about G. Scott, and also backs catching the balls out of the backfield. But, trying to take away Jeremiah Smith is what everybody tries to do, but it's going to take teams with superior athletes like Texas to be able to do it.
As far as the Notre Dame team itself, Coach Freeman says he loves the mindset his football team has.
That mentality has got us to this point. It's every person in this program putting this football program in front of itself, and that's what we continue to do, and we demand of each other is that everybody outside of this football program will find ways to give individual glory or individual praise or whatever it is. But we know inside this building that every person has a vital role for us achieving the results that we have. And that's what it's going to be as we prepare for this game. Your roles will be determined as we get finished with prep here soon. And we need you to execute your role, whatever that role is, to the best you can to make sure that we can achieve the results that we want. And that's what we'll continue to preach.
A lot of people, Jim, were talking and asking about how good is this Notre Dame team. You look at what they did on the field, 2-0 versus a Big Ten playoff team so far, and finished at the top of the conference in Indiana and Penn State.
Yeah, they beat Indiana, they beat Penn State, and, Indiana they took care of handily. Penn State, it was, tooth and nail and down to a last-second field goal that Mitch Jeter was able to put up through the uprights there. But when you look at these teams defensively, they got a lot of similarities, especially when you look at the linebackers. Guys like Jack Kaiser, been around for a long time. We got a guy like Cody Simon that's been around for a long time, and they have some young talent in there too. Like we got a Sonny Styles, and they got Bowen in there, number 24, and Snead. Both those guys are sophomores that are stepping up and good young football players. So there's a lot of commonalities. Now I would think Ohio State's defensive lines is a little bit more superior right now the way they've been playing.
And the obvious, Coach Freeman, on saying that this would be a very special moment if they're able to get the win on Monday.
Obviously, this place hasn't won a national championship since 1988, and every year the aspirations are to win a national championship. That's why all these players choose to come to Notre Dame. One of the reasons is to be a part of a program that can win a national championship. And so I think it's something that they'll be able to say for the rest of their lives, is that they were a part of a national championship football team. And so there's a lot of work that goes into getting to that outcome, and that's what we got to focus on. But it would be special for this university and for these players that have poured so much work into getting the results that we have.
And one last one. You knew Coach Freeman was going to be asked if last year's game added any motivation to this week.
If you need that to motivate you to get ready for this game, then you're not the right person. And that's the reality of it. We don't need motivation to be prepared for this game. We got a chance of playing a national championship game. This isn't about the past. This is about this opportunity we have right in front of us, and we'll continue to focus on this opportunity right in front of us. If there's learning opportunities from other games or previous games, absolutely we're going to use them. Right? If it's going to help us be more prepared for what could happen in this game, we're definitely going to use it, but it isn't for motivation at all.
And guys, to both of you real quickly before we had to break, is that, he brought up they come to Notre Dame to win a national championship without them being in a conference. I mean, that's what's different about Notre Dame. They don't have anything else to play for.
Well, and it's more difficult for them to get to a national championship opportunity because of that. Now, there have been some past years where they've not been able to get included in the playoff field because of not having that additional data point of playing for a conference championship. And it also not being at a conference for real. I mean, they are pretend, but for real, it doesn't give them the kind of strength of schedule that other teams in the Power Four.
Friends with benefits.
Yeah.
Yes.
You look at Marcus now coaching in a national championship here at Ohio State. He got a chance to play in two of them in 06 and 07, and certainly remember those games. It didn't work out well for the Buckeyes. So, he's a guy that's had some experience as a player in a national championship game. Now he's going to have his first experience coaching in a national championship game, and credit to him for what he's been able to do throughout his playing career and now throughout his coaching career.
Our thanks to Encova Insurance for once again sponsoring our Archie Griffin High School Athlete of the Week Award on each Buckeye Roundtable show. Encova Insurance for auto and home, encircling you with solutions you can trust. Encova, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Up next, we are scheduled to be joined by Ohio State coach Ryan Day as our championship game preview show continues.
Our bowl preview show is presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Hey, Buckeye Nation, Paul Keels here for my other favorite nation, Window Nation. If you're a fan of scoring, you're going to love this. Window Nation is going nuts with an incredible offer just for you. Buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free plus 0 down and 0 payments with 0 interest for 2 years. And if you order a full house of windows, you'll be part of a full house at the Shoe with tickets to a Buckeye game. Call Window Nation today at 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com. Tell them Paul sent you for the Buckeyes Full House Special.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
When you share your food, you share your heart. So what's on your table this holiday season? Save on your festive feast at Kroger with delicious deals on all the holiday classics. Or wow the crowd with something new, like a quinoa stuffed butternut squash. It's sure to add a pop of color to your spread. How about a sweet potato casserole with a crunchy oat streusel topping, made with care for the sweet tooth and the savory tooth? With Kroger, fill your table with love and watch as your guests' hearts get as full as their bellies. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace. Your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's championship game preview show presented by Burger King and by Roosters with Jim Lachey and Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mosic. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics and proud presenting sponsor of the Ryan Day Show, Roosters wants to say congratulations to Coach and the team for making it to the championship game, and thank you to all the loyal Buckeye fans who helped make Roosters a fun, casual joint. Again, Ohio State and Notre Dame Monday night for the CFP Championship. Time to hear some comments from head coach Ryan Day. His comments are presented by Kroger. And Coach, one of the messages after the game Friday was for how this team needed to finish this thing out to cement its story. How have the emotions been this week as you and the team begins its final chapter?
Well, we've been in a routine in the playoffs. And so, right back into that routine. Today was like a Tuesday practice for us. And we talked about how each week you have to wipe the slate clean and start from scratch with your preparation. And then that's it. We're just diving into the routine. And these all have been big games leading up to them. And so we're focused on that part of it. And we have to be the best version of ourselves and finish the mission. And that's what we're focused on right now. Playing our best game individually, playing our best game as a team, and then finish what we started. And I shared with the team that it's not necessarily how you start in life, it's how you finish it, and we have to finish this.
Coach, after the game, you were asked in particular about Jack Sawyer, and you talked about his story, but everybody having a story. What is it like to see all of those stories with all the different twists and turns kind of all melded together for that one goal?
Yeah, well, that's what coaching's all about, and having an impact on young people and watching them grow and learn and find themselves in different areas. Obviously, they change physically from when they first get here. They change mentally, but they change emotionally. They change spiritually. They change, maturity-wise, just across the board. And, this team has a bunch of great stories. And, we want to be the ninth team in Ohio State history to win a national championship and be different.
Coach, I was at practice. Here you are, week 16, and you're still going hard on Tuesdays. Physical type practice. I know it's a Wednesday, but football-wise, your Tuesday was physical. That was good to see. And I think that paid off. You go to that fourth quarter. Your defense was tired. You guys put up a 13-play drive, took 7:45 off the clock, and you got a couple physical plays there to get it done. Obviously, G. Scott Jr., doing what he had to do to make it a 4th and short. Will Howard doing what he had to do to get that first down. But all those things kind of paid off in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, I just think that there's a callus you build up when you're wearing pads and, especially for the guys up front, the contact of what that's like and to not wear pads in practice, really, you're just not getting a lot done. And we certainly cut back in different areas, but the idea was to stay fresh but be as physical as we possibly can this late in the season. And so we did move the week back. The last couple of weeks, we've moved everything back. So although this is a Tuesday practice, it's really like a Monday leading into next week, just to give them an extra day of rest. But, we've continued to practice hard because we know that's a huge part of how we play on Saturday and our execution.
Just as challenging for your scout team to give as good a look in trying to mimic another team that's playing for a national championship?
Yeah, and we've been able to use some of the incoming freshmen and incoming transfers to give us a good look. And so, although they can't play, they can be a part of the team and mimic what they're going to see or what our guys are going to see. So, excited to get on the film here as we get off the field to see how those guys did. But that's their job. Everybody's got a job to do, and the scout team is always very important.
Coach, tempo in this game, you've been huddling up, you've been changing your tempo back and forth. Now that you don't have to worry about keeping guys fresh, you kind of put your pedal on the you put on the pedal here a little bit at the end.
I think there's times where you want to change things up. There's times where you want to use tempo as an advantage, but you also want to make sure that you're doing what got you here as well. And there's something to be said for these types of games, making sure that you do what has got you here. And as we've talked about, there's a lot of advantages to the huddle. But to your point, there'll be times as well to go no huddle and change up the tempo.
It wasn't just in the most recent game, but what have been some of the keys, Coach, through the course of the season with your red zone defense?
Well, I just think it's a mentality. And you'll hear our guys talk all the time, Jim Knowles, our coaches, our leaders. Give us an inch and we'll defend it. And that's literally what happened the other day. It's a mentality, and it's one of some big games this season.
Coach, playing depth at running back, playing Quinshawn and Travion, splitting reps the whole year, you can see how that's paid off. Certainly at the end of the second quarter when he ran the screen, that's about the freshest I've seen a back look, 15 games in when he took it up the sideline and Quinshawn looks at fresh running it. And just the whole plan that you've had all year long was built for this moment.
That's exactly right. And I think it's a great example to a lot of the young players on our team on unselfishness and sacrifice, and they're seeing the benefits of that because they, like you said, they are fresh. I thought Quinshawn ran hard in the game. I thought you saw the explosiveness of Travion, and we're going to need that in this game. And it's all, like you said, been leading to this point, and that's the way this thing was built and designed. And so now we have to continue to, prepare for this game at a high level with our body, making sure that we are fresh, but also being able to play fast and understanding. But this is a very good defense that we're about to play, and we know that firsthand. We played them the last couple of years, so those guys know, just like everybody, they got to be at their best.
As well as that defense, what are the other challenges that Notre Dame presents, Ryan?
Yeah, on offense, Leonard is an excellent leader. Scrambles, makes throws. Tight end is very athletic. The running back, is somebody that can break it at any point. They're very good in what they do. On defense, like you said, challenge a lot of things. Don't give you much easy. And then play very good situational football. Special teams are excellent. And overall, they have great resilience and toughness. So, great challenge for our team, and obviously we're looking forward to it.
Coach, I know all the focus is on Monday night, but if we could, just a quick thought on Urban getting into the Hall of Fame with him being the guy to bring you here to Ohio State.
Yeah, what an unbelievable recognition. And certainly his record speaks for itself and the success that he had and so the impact he had on so many players, but also coaches, and I'm one of them. And it's a big part of the legacy of a coach is the impact that he has on his players and his coaches. And, again, the record speaks for itself and the championships and all that. But to me, it's the impact he had on my career, and I'm always grateful for it.
Ohio State coach Ryan Day. Coach, we always appreciate your time. We'll see you down in Atlanta this weekend, okay?
Thanks, guys.
All right, Coach's comments presented by Kroger. Buckeye fans, when the Bucks win, you win at Kroger. Go to the Kroger app the day after each victory to download your coupon for a free 20-ounce bottle of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Then visit any Columbus area Kroger the same day to redeem while supplies last. And that was news today. And again, just the latest as far as Ohio State head coaches to be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame.
No surprise and well-deserved.
No, it seems like everybody here at Ohio State, finds a way to get in the Hall of Fame, going back to Paul Brown, Woody Hayes, Earl Bruce, John Cooper, Jim Tressel, Urban, and Coach Day's on his way. Yeah, mic'd up players too. You're right. And Luke Fickell might have a shot here down the road. Who knows?
Up next, we will wrap things up with some chalk talk as our championship game preview show continues.
Our bowl preview show is presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Buckeye fans, Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,000 towards the 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Ohio State championship quarterback Cardale Jones.
As a child, I had the same hopes and dreams as other children. I just didn't have the same resources to achieve them, but I found the help I needed to be my best. I was a CareSource kid. CareSource is so much more than Medicaid. They help families overcome a lot of their day-to-day struggles, and that made a lasting difference in the lives of kids like me.
CareSource, your Medicaid, your choice. Visit caresource.com/Medicaid.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
It's Toyota truck and all-wheel drive season with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, including all-wheel drive versions of the best-selling Corolla. Now through February 3rd, get low-rate financing on a Corolla or lease a gas-powered 25 Corolla LE for $229 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, to our championship game preview show presented by Burger King and by Roosters. With Jim Lachey and Paul Keels, I'm Skip Mosic. Union Home Mortgage is the official lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn about their 1% down payment program at uhm.com. Union Home Mortgage, equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229. And guys, let's begin this segment as we always do when we wrap up each roundtable show, our delivery of the game. Who has to deliver for Ohio State to get it done Monday?
I would say that the Buckeyes' minds have to deliver, meaning just what we talked about, Skip, at the beginning of the show. Discipline, reduce penalties. How's that?
Yeah, that's the key every ball game, reducing those penalties and playing smart football. I'm going to say that defensive line, because they've been producing each and every ball game. They've been just lights out. Obviously our defensive end have been fantastic. Our defensive tackles have been getting pressure. They're going to have to do it one more time against the Notre Dame offensive line. It's going to get moved around a little bit with some of the injuries they've had. So going to have to study well, prep well, and Larry Johnson's going to have to get those guys fired up. And, again, our depth is starting to show up. You see the guys, Kenyatta Jackson, Mitchell Melton, both stepping up and playing well.
Can Ohio State get Jeremiah Smith back involved, or does that depend on what Notre Dame does defensively?
Yes and yes. It certainly depends on that. However, now that they will have had a week plus to try and game plan for that and figure out maybe some contingencies from what Texas did, then it's very possible, yes, but not at the expense of not being able to have success.
maybe come up with a game plan to use him as the ultimate decoy. If that's what's going to be, if that's what you're trying to take away, and you recognize that, it's like, okay, we got some stuff for this now, and for it. And, they played man a lot all year long. You hate to go into a game and change what you've been doing because that's what you've been successful at for Notre Dame. But they saw Texas have some success with it. They saw Michigan have some success with it. So maybe that's, what they want to do. But, again, that's kind of getting away from what you are. And, the good thing is for Ohio State, they can win without Jeremiah going out there and having a 4 or 5 2-touchdown game, a 4 or 5 receptions, 2-touchdown type game. And, other guys were able to step up. And that, again, shows the depth that Brian Hartline has developed with Emeka, who, by the way, is just 2 catches away from tying the Ohio State record, 3 from breaking it. Expect to see that happen in the emergence, what we've seen out of Cardinal Tate, especially this last half of the year. He's been on fire.
Notre Dame has shown the ability to hit the big play throughout the season. I guess the biggest key for Ohio State to defensively prevent that from happening, I guess keys to causing Riley Leonard some problems.
Get pressure on him or harass him. Do like they did against Oregon. Also, what we saw late in the game, obviously the Jack Sawyer play against Quinn Ewers, but continue to put pressure on the quarterback. Deflect passes, bat balls down like we've seen Jack Sawyer and others do, but just force them into rushed and difficult decisions.
Yeah, I think it's obviously going to be a contained type rush where you make sure you take away the rushing type lanes, and then having guys like Cody Simon been able to fill those lanes and make some physical tackles. And that's what again, you can run that quarterback, sure, go ahead and do it. But the reason they don't do that in the NFL a lot is because that guy's too valuable. You don't want to get him beat
Leonard
up.
Got knocked out against Penn State for a brief period right before the half.
Yeah, so, concussion-type symptoms. He was able to come back. He got cleared. So, if you want to expose your quarterback, that's good. And he's had 150-some rushing attempts. So this is what they do. They're going to do it. Right. They're going to continue to do it. He's had 16 TDs on the ground. So he's going to do it. But our defense has to be spot on. Caleb Downs, filling, kind of the sweeper-type role where he can clean up a lot of messes back there. He's going to have to continue to play at a high level. But the whole defense starts with that defensive line.
Turnovers are always key in championship games. We saw Penn State commit a crucial turnover in their semi against Notre Dame. Importance for Ohio State not committing those same type of mistakes in this matchup.
Well, and if you look at the one interception that Will Howard threw, it appeared to us lay people, not including you in that, Jim, but to us that don't know any better, that he was trying to force it to Jeremiah Smith. Got to be able to avoid things like that.
Well, I think that in that situation, they were playing off the left hash here. If that was in the middle field, that linebacker might have not have been able to get there because they were on the hash, trying to throw over the hash. It made a little bit more of a condensed field, and they kind of closed that gap in a hurry. And give Ben the credit. That was heck of an athletic play. You try to get that over the backer, and then in front of those safeties, and it just couldn't quite fit it in. But you got to learn your lessons, right? And I think Will has done a good job with that. And then you're watching Penn State, and you saw Aller. His lesson: don't throw late over the middle. That's just something you tell, your 7th grade quarterback to not to do that. He did it. He tried to get it in there, and it didn't come up well. It turned out to be the game breaker for him. So you got to learn those lessons and profit from other people's mistakes.
Special teams play, always huge. Confidence level if this thing comes down to a final kick. And the irony that Notre Dame, they struggled throughout the year as far as field goals, yet their kicker, Mitch Jeter, hit 2 huge ones, including the game winner.
Yeah, at one point they were the worst in the nation when it came to field goal percentage and things like that. And it's been good to see, as we talked about, Jaden Fielding getting back on the beam. His confidence seems to be where it is. So special teams and also the way we've seen Ohio State cover kicks has been very good.
Playing inside, taking away the wind, the domes, all those kickers love those type of things. Surprising when I was looking at the special team stats for Notre Dame, they had 4 blocks. 4 field goal blocks. That's
that's part of what we were talking about.
Yeah, 1 or 2, you can live with that. But 4, that's a problem. They've also blocked 3 on defensively, so they've had the ability to apply some pressure. So that's something you're going to have to on point with. Punting, I thought we did a pretty good job with the snap, the punt, the time. The hang time was good. Not much return there, so that's going to have to be key if you do have to punt.
The Ohio State-Notre Dame series has been on and off throughout the years. It's interesting how this is 3 years in a row now. Some households are very aware that Ohio State's won 6 in a row, but obviously no bigger prize than this one.
Well, it is crazy when you think about it. Notre Dame's wins come from the 30s, and then Ohio State, ever since this series resumed back in the 90s, have been able to. Never mind. I'm not going to ask the question.
6 in a row, and it's been fantastic for Ohio State. Coach Coop took care of them in the 90s, and we've been taking care of them ever since.
Guys, great job as always. We'll see you down in Atlanta, all right? Join us Monday night for Ohio State and Notre Dame. We'll be on the air from Atlanta beginning at 6 p.m. Our championship game preview show has been presented by Burger King and by Roosters and brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. For our producer, Bodie Wells, and for Jim Lachey and Paul Keels, I'm Skip Mosic. Thanks for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Our clients deserve for us to care, and they deserve to feel serviced. They have questions, and they deserve answers. We're counselors first because I'm not selling them anything. I'm trying to teach clients how to protect themselves. At Curtis & Associates, we're personal injury attorneys. We've helped and continue to help hundreds and hundreds of clients every year. That's important to us. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, call now. 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT. Curtis & Associates. Attorneys who care.
Looking for your next Subaru? At Byers Airport Subaru, we give you options from start to finish. Browse and shop entirely online from the comfort of your home at columbussubaru.com or stop by and visit one of our friendly brand specialists just by the airport.
Right now, buy a new 2025 Subaru Outback for 2.9% for up to 72 months.
Whether you prefer to click or come in, we've got you covered. Your journey starts at Byers Airport Subaru. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Subject to credit approval. Financing offer term up to 72 months on 2025 Subaru Outback. Cannot be combined with any other incentive. See dealer for details. Offer ends 1/31/25.
It's Toyota truck and all-wheel drive season with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, including the best-selling RAV4. Now through February 3rd, get 4.99 APR financing on new gas-powered 24 or 25 RAV4s. Or lease a gas-powered 25 RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Through the magic of modern technology, I'm coming to you from inside your garbage disposal.
Hey, what are you doing down here?
I was telling folks about Who are you?
Garbage disposal monster. I eat the things people put in here. Nom 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 nom.
Oh?
Sometimes I get sick.
I was just about to say, the pros who knows from Apex are brilliant at fixing garbage disposals. You're really a monster?
Look here. These teeth, they're all busted.
Oh.
They're for food, not forks. You hear up there?
Gee, what else?
Crazy noises like clingety, 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 clingety. Call Apex Pros.
Sure.
Sometimes I smell funny.
I didn't want to draw attention to it.
Call Apex Pros.
And what's going on now there?
Smoking. It's a bad habit. We're not supposed to smoke.
Well, you heard it straight from the garbage disposal monster. Call the pros who knows. Apex Pros.
Hi, it's Alex, the Apex Bear. We are the pros who knows, the official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
Nom 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 nom.
At Logan Services, we know how important your home comfort is, and that's why we're proud to offer free HVAC inspections. Through our free inspection, you'll get a thorough assessment of your heating and cooling system to identify any potential issues that can impact your home, your energy bills, and even your health. The assessment is free and only takes an hour of your time. It's the fast, friendly service that you've come to expect from our team at Logan.